speak to you today because it's the first time, face to face. This is a moment that I just want to, I'm sorry if I go 9 minutes, indulge me. So this morning I want to teach you on how to sell to many on the spot. Now at first glance that could sound like a catchphrase or are you serious? Like there's just a little ploy. It actually is what people do to generate clients and sales using speaking. So currently when you go and market, whether it's with a brochure or it's a website, they're all great, but it takes one set of eyeballs to your social media post. But when you're speaking yourself to many. And that on its own is marketing on steroids. It amplifies you, it amplifies your voice, and it amplifies the reach, which therefore means the income and the revenue you generate for yourself. So let me explain how it happens. Liz, you're a bad example because now I've got your accent.
Sorry,
All right. So this is for you if you're in the advice space. So if you are in the place where you actually tell people what you need to do, like coaching, consulting, that kind of jazz, if you have a service, this is really going to work well for you. If you sell like watches or gadgets and stuff like that, not so much, because the whole point of speaking and the way I'm structuring it, the way I'm teaching it, is that you take people from what Liz would say, where they are, to where they need to be. So from information, which they can Google, to the transformation, which is what you provide. And that talk is where you facilitate that change for them. So in the advice space, if you want to leverage your time, any mums in the room? Mums in the room? Dads in the room? I mean, mums, dads, we're all very busy. And so leveraging your time just means if I just make one move and I can get multiple marketing strategic results from that. So when I do a post, I get one set of eyeballs. When I do a website, I get one set of eyeballs, and I've got to build relationship as people come through. I have to have a great email campaign. But when I'm speaking, I leverage my time because I'm connecting with each and every one of you, because by default you're here. So if you're looking for how to approach or find potential clients, a lot of people find that's really how I go about that. That's really extreme, and this is what actually alleviates that anxiety. If you love what you do, but not the selling, this is really going to be good for you speaking itself. So my whole purpose for today is, for the short time that I've got, is to teach you how to make offers that convert. If you can get up and do an offer, deliver a presentation, a webinar, on a Zoom, on a face-to-face event, that's my goal for you today. So what qualifies me to be standing here even speaking on this topic? Just to give you a really brief background, in 2015, I was Canberra's Young Businesswoman of the Year. 2016, I was second in the quarterfinals of the World Champion of Public Speaking. 2017, I was nominated for Australian of the Year. And then last year, I represented Australia at the G20 in Japan at the G20 Young Entrepreneur Alliance. And so these opportunities have come as a result of using speaking as a marketing tool. When you have the spotlight shone on you, now people take notice of you. Dr. Phil is probably not the best psychologist in the world, but he has a platform. He does, yeah. And the platform for small business is speaking. It's the equivalent to what you do there. I've also had, when traveling was a thing, I was able to travel and teach this, what I'm teaching you, the condensed version, in Australia, New Zealand, Middle East, and South Asia. And so by doing that, that experience got me to the G20, which was when I thought, like, gave me the Australian perspective of where business was going for the G20 countries from an Australian point of view. So, besides all of that, how did I get into this? Is really briefly, I was in corporate, I was in learning and development, and companies would hire me to create training solutions to their problems. One of the biggest problems I found doing that was people didn't enjoy their jobs. And it just surfaced as a sales, productivity, customer service, whatever problem. And when I tell management, it's actually because your people are misallocated resources. They're like, no, they need to tick a box to say that they've solved the surface level problem. So I give them surface level results and they ignore the source. So I took my skills in learning and development and created this thing called How to Find Your Passion, because it was so needed. And I took that as a side gig and I started teaching people that. And people from university grads to people in their 60s and 70s. And people were making phenomenal changes, new careers, people, things that they hadn't thought of. I was getting jazzed about the results, to the extent where I thought, I'd love to do this full time. And then, I don't know about you, but this is what I did to start a business, okay? I went networking, I had an opt-in, I had referrals, advertising, website, brochure, mail drops. I mean, that's what everyone else was doing.
Yeah.
And I thought, if I do that, then I'm in business. But I mean, I had the layout of the business and no customers. So I mean, you fit the bill. And these are all great. But the problem and why I couldn't get traction is because they're all one-to-one marketing. It's one, I have to talk to you one at a time. I've got to converse with you one coffee at a time. There's nothing wrong with any of that. It just takes long to build connection and therefore to be able to get results in my work. And so there was one thing I hadn't done, which was speaking, and I didn't want to do that because I was really scared of it, because I had a general manager saying, that training is really good. But when you're in your own business, it's like, I have to back myself up. Yeah. That's completely different, right? Now your mind's trying to play with you. And so I went to Melbourne to speak at the Mind, Body and Soul Festival, somewhere where if I just completely fainted, no one would know. And I would just go get another job, right? And I went to the Mind, Body and Soul Festival to speak. I had a 35 to 40 minute slot, and as nervous as I was, I've got a fringe. This fringe was stuck with sweat. I'm not joking. I couldn't put my arms up because it was just so sweaty. So as I'm just like, I'm literally shivering, the PowerPoint wouldn't work. I had to put a mic because there were so many people in the room. This is my first time backing myself up. And as I'm delivering my presentation, I'm making a debate in my inside voice, as mom and dad would know. I'm saying to my inside voice, should I make an offer? Should I not make an offer? Should I make it? I'm teaching, but should I make an offer? Should I not make an offer? And at the end of it, towards my presentation, I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? I'll just go get a job tomorrow. I'll look for a job tomorrow. And I presented, true story, I presented, I made an offer, and to my surprise, after 6 months of the networking and the website and the jazz and blah, 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 I made an offer and people started signing with their details of the credit card, saying, I want to work with you. And that changed the way I saw me, which is you are it, you are your business, the way I saw marketing, and the way I saw how I could use speaking. Because how on earth did I go in 40 minutes from a stranger to a new city to saying I want to be your client? Yet I had people coming to my website, seeing people, but nothing was happening. So that's what I want to show you is the current state of speaking as it is in COVID times right now. I want to talk to you about the language of the offer that converts for you. And I want to talk to you about how to craft your own offer. Cool? We'll do that? All right, let's rock and roll. So I'm going to give you as much as I can. And this is what I got. And then for those who want to get more, I'll make sure I fill you in. Current state of speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, you can know this guy, right? Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay. He's a big internet guru, online, does marketing, runs a $100 million business, charges about $100,000 per keynote talk. Wow. Mel Robbins, she charges about $50,000 to $70,000 per keynote talk. Wow. Overnight, COVID, they completely lost their business of the speaking side of things. Wow. She was completely speaking. He did that as a side to. Was that for me? No. Yeah. Oh. Someone else? Oh my God. Keep going. So my point is that the keynote speaking industry has completely collapsed. Right. So now people are not going to pay them $100,000 because if you've got to go online, I mean, you can watch YouTube. But so offline events have become online. Wow. That's opened up the space for you and I. Yeah. Abundantly. Yeah. And so I fly Zoom Airlines to the UK multiple times a week, to Singapore, to America, and I generate clients and speak. Wow. Because these guys no longer have that. Because there's a space that's now remained open, and that's thanks to COVID. It's never been like that before. Wow. When I've done South Asia and Middle East tours, I've had to go buy a ticket, hotel expenses. Yeah. Oh, it's just accelerated. And even when COVID dies down, God willing, people are used to now being online. Yeah. Just look at it, we've got a 7 a.m. session online. Yeah. So that has now just been cemented. So that's what's opened up in the industry. Here's the next thing. An information session is what Chief Minister Andrew Barr, COVID-19, 1.5 meter distance, wash your hands, that's an information session. Education, what happens at university or in school? Lots of information filtered, regurgitated. Keynote is the industry of motivation. What we're talking about is a signature talk. Here's the difference. When you write the information educational keynote, you start with writing an introduction. G'day, I'm Rita, or good morning, I'm Rita, whatever it might be, and you just go on from there. When you're doing a talk to generate clients and sales and build transformation for your audience, you reverse engineer your talk, which means you start from the offer. You begin with the offer. The greatest mistake people make is they start with what they want to start with in the talking from the beginning. When you clarify where you want to end up, when you get that language correct, now we reverse engineer the talk so that the body, the beginning, everything points and that converts. Does that make sense? Okay, so Annalise works for Vinnie Charity. She's the marketing manager for Vinnie's. She came to work with me because every charity door knocks and every charity needs money. So she wanted to create new marketing for her, for recruiting volunteers, for fundraising, and for the events that they have. And so she's put to delivering speaking in terms of getting fundraising and getting volunteers offer. And then now does talks to organizations and not-for-profits to generate new levels of interest and fundraising completely different to her other competitors in the market. So here is the language of offers that convert. Now, I don't usually do a workshop, I go really deep, but we'll just cut to the punchline here, right? What do you offer your client? And what you offer is the result. The language of your client is the language of results. What you offer is not your coaching, it's not your consulting, it's not a massage, it's not being able to do Reiki, it's not being able to do any of that. That's how you do something. The result is what's the highest possible result that's possible for working with you. That's what your customers want. So let me give you an example. I have a website called unboxyourgift.com. If you guys want to get some, on a side thing, if you guys want to get free speaking and podcast opportunities coming to you every Friday, if you go to unboxyourgift.com and register, I send out free every Friday speaking and podcast opportunities. I have a website, and when I used to say to people, I have this thing called Unbox Your Gift, oh, that sounds really cute. But when I said I have a program called Unbox Your Gift, that's what I mean. And so that day in Melbourne, rather than calling it Unbox Your Gift, I called it How to Find Your Dream Job. Same program. But the language of clients is the language of results. And so that in itself speaks to a result, which means half that job is done. Of being able to not have to be having to over communicate. Shannon is a photographer from Sydney, and she came to me because she's like, well, I don't know, and I'm giving you some examples so you see how this operates. So I said to her, she goes, I want more clients. I said, so what do you do? I take pictures. And why do you take pictures? Well, because of people on their LinkedIn profile, they put on their website, they can do all that kind of jazz. And I said, okay, well, what's the purpose behind it? Why would someone want that picture? Well, so we're workshopping it. And I said to you, listen to me, Shannon. The only reason why any ladies here on this one would want to take have their pictures taken is because you want to look fit, fab, and photogenic. If I don't look fit and fab and photogenic, don't let the lens see me. So now when she comes up and makes an offer, it's not I'm a photographer and here's my package. It's I have you look fit, fab, and photogenic. And now, can you see how that creates a different level of curiosity, conversation? What's a tape, right? And so that's how it works. No, that's okay. No problem at all. Okay, so I want you to think about your offer, because I have to run up the town, like a ultimate chocolate cake. When you order the ultimate chocolate cake, you don't ask the waitress to ask the chef, how many eggs does it have? How much sugar does it have? How much flour does it have? Hey, you just want the ultimate chocolate cake, right? And that's the exact same thing with your offers, with the work that you do. You don't go into the details of the calls, it's one-on-one consultations, we go into X, Y, Z. You don't go into the ingredients because that transfers your client out. That gets them bogged down. You want to speak to the result, which is your chocolate cake, which is the offer that you provide, the results that you provide. Does that make sense, guys? Super. Thank you. Okay, guys. So how do I write this up? Crafting your own offer. For this breakfast only, I gotcha, mate. I gotcha. For this breakfast only, if I haven't offered this for about 3 years, guys, because next week we're on to the last 3-day intensive for business owners who are joining me from the UK to put their signature talk together. But for you guys, if you want the people that are here, if you'd like to learn how to put your leads and clients selling to many and crafting your offer, it's a craft and offer that converts session for Monday only, because after Monday, I go into a 3-day intensive with people in the UK to put their things, and then after that, it's wind down. So if that's available for Monday only, and there are only 3 sessions, if that speaks to you, let me know. I've got 3 slots. And that's what I have for you. I hope you guys go and actually work on the language of your offer, because that's what it converts. Thank you very much. Now, do we have 1 or 2 questions for Rita, and then we'll just move on? Oh, sorry. That's okay. Don't apologise. Does anyone have a question for Rita? Thank you. Susan.
Just a quick question. I really love all this crafting your offer. How do you find the places to speak?
That's exactly right.
Especially if you're a beginner.
Yeah,
Unbox. Who's going to want me to speak?
Yeah, unboxyourgift.com. Every Friday, I send out free speaking engagements and free podcasts. So I get a lot coming into me.
Get onto her website.
So if you can't, because I can't fulfill all of them, so what I do, and even if I do, some of my clients are on the same ones that I do. So I put that on a newsletter, and then I email that out every Friday. You just got to be on top of it because there are deadlines. So you just need to hit the deadlines. But yeah, that's how you work. Great question.
Another question? One last one?
You didn't go into any of your pain points, and that really got me, because I hate dealing with pain points for people, especially with what I do, because they don't want to hear how bad their lives are.
Yeah.
So I love that you didn't go into that, and you talked about the result.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you.
Yeah, no, that's because just to be honest, this is really important, because what really you want to do is you want to speak to a vision. You don't want to put someone down, and there is strategies for that, but it doesn't work. Because your work is to facilitate change. And you can't lead change, which is exactly what you're doing when you speak. You can't lead change if you're trying to go down and inspire to get someone and, be my
Their energy's you their energy. They don't want to hear how bad their life is.
Exactly, yeah. Right. Great question. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, you can finish it.
That's it.